All right, gang, here we are at our approximately 23 by about 43 foot, roughly 1,007 square feet floating cabin for sale. We're here on the beautiful fresh waters of Norris Lake, Tennessee. This is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and this is currently enrolled in a rental program. And this mooring location can transfer. This will be a turnkey rental floating cabin. It is in a rental management program. That makes it easy on any of the out-of-state property owners. Essentially, you're going to block off the dates in which you want to use the cabin. They will rent it the rest. Now, we are just getting started here, and maybe another 30 to 60 days. We'll just be getting started with the 2023 rental season. So we'll be handling this like we have our other rental floating cabins in the past. When the sale of this property closes is when essentially it'll be a full transfer of ownership. The new buyer will be obligated to keep any rentals that are on the calendar. They'll be able to go in and block off dates in which they wish to use it themselves for the remainder of the rental season. And also, as soon as the transfer of ownership completes, then the new property owner will be the one that's going to be receiving the revenue. So this is constructed on lumber decking with a lumber frame and the new style fully encapsulated styrofoam flotation. I'll give you a look of one of those right here. I should go ahead and take that underneath the edge there as well. Get you kind of a little bit more than 360 degree tour of this one. And overhead we've got a metal roof, vinyl siding, dual pane vinyl windows. We've got partial railing around about a 20, excuse me, this is about a 23 feet covered patio, ceiling fan overhead, about 11 feet deep. We've got a sunshade on the west end of the cabin. That's where the afternoon sun's going to be coming in. Do have some attic storage access for be able to lock up owners' belongings. Stainless grill out here on the patio will be staying with it, as well as this lifetime picnic table and umbrella. We're for our video tour. As always, we do like to remind you we do not monitor the YouTube comment page. So if you do have any questions about this one, do make sure you actually click over to our website. We're going to make that easy for you to do. When you do make it to the listing page for this at our website, you'll be able to contact us by phone, by text, and by email. Now, for your convenience, there will be a direct link to this listing down in the video description section. So all you got to do is expand that video description, and that's going to give you a link that you can either copy and paste or just click, and that will take you right to the photo slideshow page for this listing, where you're going to see the current asking price and a full list of specifications and features and all that good stuff. So now, before we leave our porch area, I do want to point out we've got about 4 rod holders up here for anybody that enjoys fishing. That's the one advantage, well, one of many advantages to our floating cabins. You are out directly over top of the water. Feel like you get a little bit more privacy out here. Now, this is about the 3rd row in from the front row. The cabins are in a no-wake area, and they do prohibit wake surfing out in front of the marina harbors. But now, directly across the channel there, where you see the tree line, that is looking into wildlife preserve. That's the Chuck Swan Wildlife Preserve, and there can be no development over in that area. Now, we are just getting finalized on the new floating cabin regulations with TVAs. This cabin has been registered and is permitted to be here right where it is at the size that it is. There are some regulations that it will need to meet in the future as we move ahead. But now the first major regulation is the fully encapsulated styrofoam flotation, which this one does have. So you've got that big part of the regulations covered. The next phase is going to be due by about October 2024, and that is for an electrical standard that will need to be met in the near future. So before we leave the front porch area, over here on the little swim dock, we do have a 4-step swim boarding ladder that's going to go flip right over that dock edge, and then we do have a small water slide, and there's a little hatch right underneath that slide there. This is an access hatch to get down to the water pump. There's your water pump right there. That's a 12-volt water pump, and you do have a little switch built in for that right here. So, all right, well, let's go ahead and head on. Well, actually, one last thing before we head inside. We do have 2 stereo speakers out here mounted just underneath this covered patio. Lots of power outlets on the exterior, and there's 2 outside water spigots as well that I'll cover when we get there. So, all right, stepping in, we've got a nice large cathedral ceiling here. Again, we've got about just over 1,000 total square feet. Ceiling height at the center of this cathedral ceiling is just over 10 feet. I think it's about 10 feet and change. And then everywhere else, you're going to have your standard 8-foot ceilings. All right, large ceiling fan overhead here. We got the bedrooms are going to be carpeted. We've got some linoleum style flooring out in the living room area, and that's going to continue into our bathrooms, to our 2 full bathrooms here. Now, just about everything that you're going to see here will transfer with this one. That means everything can stay, so including this mooring spot is connected to shore power out here. That's about a 50-inch Fire HD television, and it's got two speakers on the floor there next to that, and I believe that is connected to a receiver here. We got a Sherwood receiver that's going to be let's see, that's going to be AM FM, I believe, with a auxiliary input, and then we've got a CD changer RCA stereo. And then, of course, you got a VHS, Samsung DVD player, and a Sony Blu-ray player that's all connected to this Fire TV. And but those 2 Pioneer speakers are going to go to the stereo that's going to be also connected to that those patio speakers. So there are now in 2023, there are good Wi-Fi options now available around the lake, whereas just a few years ago, those options for Wi-Fi were very limited. This does not have one, but Starlink satellite internet is the best way to go. That's going to be a one-time fee for the equipment, and then depending on how often you're going to be using the place for yourself, you can purchase the RV plan, which will allow you to turn that off whenever you're not using it, so you can only be paying for it during the season. And when you are using it, those are great options because those are going to be able to handle the little bit of movement that you're going to have out here on the floating cabin, and that will keep you a good internet signal. And then, of course, anybody using a modern smartphone will also have your Wi-Fi calling capabilities as well. So again, this nice large living room, dining room, kitchen area. Then over here on the kitchen side, we do have a Frigidaire, four burner electric range top with an oven and an over the range Maytag microwave. We've got a coffee maker, utensils, pots, pans, knife set, silverware, the flatware and glassware set as well. We got a 4-slice toaster, Hamilton Beach blender, can opener, that knife block, double stainless sink. Again, this is essentially a turnkey rental unit. We've got a Frigidaire under counter dishwasher, and then that's going to be a Maytag full-size electric refrigerator freezer with a ice maker. Nice large little integrated dining table. It does have some storage integrated underneath as well. Now off to our first of 3 bedrooms. This is a queen size bed, got 2 windows, ceiling fan overhead. Electric panel happens to be mounted in here as well. I believe this is 200 amp service leading out to this floating cabin. And we got a small little hanging closet right in here as well. Again, queen size bed in there, certainly room to go a little bit larger. Now right over here we've got our first of 2 full bathrooms. We got a small vanity sink right here. Now this is a marine toilet. This is Jabsco marine head. All that really means is that this is going to use some 12-volt power to work. And of course, you don't have to worry about all that. This is all that hard work's already been done. And then your wastewater is all going into a waste holding tank. You've got the controls to flush, fill and flush that right there. And then of course you've got your render instructions right there as well. We've got a small walk-in shower, bin overhead, and again, small little vanity sink over here. Now, in the shower, do you want to point out we got just a little bit of crack in this floor in here. That probably just needs to be sealed up just to prevent any water going where it's not intended to go. And then we also have a little bit of, can't quite tell if that's some moisture that's picked up through there. That's, of course, that's a gray water drain that's just going through the floor in the lake right now. That has been allowed in the past. Now that's the one area of the regulations that is still kind of being determined, and right now we are preparing all the floating cabin owners to be prepared to have some sort of gray water infrastructure in the near future. That is coming down the pipeline at the moment, but there's just not a fully known vision for what that gray water infrastructure is going to look like yet. But that will be more than likely going to be something that the cabin owner will need to deal with in the future, whether that's adding some additional gray water storage tanks or some type of a sump pump system that's going to shoot that gray water over to shore. But the black water goes into a black water tank. We will revisit the black water here a little bit later. So here in our second bedroom, we got another queen size bed. Obviously room to go larger if you so desire. Ceiling fan overhead and another hanging closet in the corner of this one. And that is about a 32-inch Samsung HD television there with a Roku connection. Now then, back out to our main living area, crossing through the living room into, now this is going to be the larger of the 3 bedrooms. Now obviously this could be a master if you did not wish to continue to rent this after this season. But currently it's set up as a small bunk room just to sleep a few more people. This is a queen size bed right here in the center of the frame now. And then over here we have a full with a twin over top. So that's a twin over a full bunk bed. 2 windows in here as well. And this is about a 32-inch Emerson HD television on the wall there. Got a small dresser. Now this is heated and cooled with a residential Goodman. I believe it is a 2.5 ton heat pump unit, HVAC unit. This is your interior air handler in here, and you've also got of course your storage closet there as well. And in this corner here, this is our water utility closet. This is a 40-gallon A.O. Smith Signature hot water heater. Well, water heater, makes your hot water. And over here on this side, this is our lake water pump. So this is a county line, 1.5 horsepower with a small little pressurized tank. And that is going to actually lift this lake water up through the floor. We've got a small little valve plumbed in there for winterization. And then that's going through that pressure tank. Water line's coming up through here. It's hitting a single filter right here. It's making another bend. It's going through a second filter, then dropping down, going through a UV light where it's going to be essentially sanitized right there, and then it's plumbing the rest of the cabin. There's your cold water going that way, and of course your hot water coming through here, and then back out to the house. This is your little UV controller right there, and this is where we've got a 12-volt deep cycle marine battery, and of course it's just plumbed right in there with a small little battery maintainer, and that's going to go into operate that lake water pump out on the patio, as well as your marine toilets, your marine heads. So the ceiling fan overhead in that room as well. So you've got we got here 4 ceiling fans throughout. That's 1 in each bedroom, 1 in our living room area here, and then our second and final bathroom. This is a full bath. There's your vanity sink. This is your second Japsco marine head, and we've got a full shower and tub in our last bathroom here. Do have that vent overhead there, shower and tub, and then in this closet here we've got a Frigidaire heavy duty extra large capacity stacked washer and dryer unit. So now I do want to point out our full bath does lead right out to the exterior. This is a great feature on any floating cabin or houseboat. I don't care who you are, especially since you've got a slide right here, steps going right down the water. This is handy for anybody with children. And then, and it's not always just children either, but it's nice having a marine toilet, marine head close to the exterior. When you've got an exterior entryway, that makes things so much easier. You don't have to worry about those wet footprints going through the cabin to get to that bathroom. But before we do go back out the exterior, we got some more to talk about. I do want to point out, anytime we see any wear and tear, we like to point that out to you. So we just noticed you got a little bit of cracking here in the sheetrock right here above that air return for that HVAC system, and then a small little bit of a line. I don't even know if I'd call that a crack, but small little line right there in the ceiling. So we did notice those areas. We're always as transparent as we can be. Of course, we pointed out the floor there in that bathroom floor, and I don't think there was really anything else here on the interior, but I did want to come back. Oh, and that little bit of a seam goes up towards that. Actually looks more like some of your drywall tape right there. I don't think any of that is really much of a crack at all, and actually I really don't even think this one is much of a crack, but you can see a little line there. So just wanted to point that out. Of course, all of our listings are always offered subject to buyer inspection, so we would certainly encourage any buyer to make sure you have it checked out thoroughly to your satisfaction before completing the purchase. So just wanted to call those items to your attention. Now I'm going to go right back out to the exterior through our bathroom door, and this is where I also wanted to stop and show you. We got a little bit of just moisture wear on this exterior door frame, and so that's probably going to need some attention in the near future. Your other doors, of course, this one here is kind of protected by this patio, so it's not getting near as much of the elements as our other exterior door is. You got a little bit in that corner right there. So like I said, we like to call those things out to your attention anytime we notice them or notice them. So we do have some screw holes in the siding here. I'm assuming it's at some point in time they probably had a rail here or a fence here that kind of closed this patio off from the rest of the dock, and I think we had the same over here on this side. Yeah, just some old screw holes there. So just want to call those to your attention. Personally, I do not like the fully enclosed gates or railings as it pertains to floating cabin, even for people with small children, because they tend to provide very much a sense of false security, and they should not be relied upon. So I would much rather, this is personal preference, I would much rather have an open railing, and just the rule that anytime kids are stepping out to the exterior, they just have to have a life jacket on at all times. That's the way I was brought up, and I think that's a little bit more of a better method than just solely relying on railing. I do want to call your attention, we do have some chains for the 2 main entry doors. So if you do have young ones and you are worried about that, there are many different devices you can do, whether it's securing these doors so that a child cannot reach them. Now there is not one of those on that other exterior doors. Certainly can be. We've also seen different type of alarms used. You put those up higher, it can be an audio alarm as well. So there's different ways to make it hard, if you, like I said, if you've got young ones, to keep them from freely going outside. That way, if an adult's letting them inside and outside, they can always make sure that they are properly protected by wearing a life vest. There's just really no replacement for that. So now on the exterior, right over here around the corner, is where we've got our waste pump outs. This one is constructed with approximately 300-gallon waste holding tanks. So all the black water, this is what comes through the toilets, goes right into there, and this is pumped out. You do not have to take this anywhere. They come to you. Your other pump out's right over here. So in the rental program, this is going to be roughly around $1,000 a year is going to be your waste pump out charge, and they're going to be pumping you out every week throughout the season as far as those waste holding tanks go. And we've got a exterior spigot right over here on this side for your water. And of course we've got some cleats, dockside cleats, and some dockside fenders as well to protect your runabouts. And then I'm going to head across the deck this way. Of course, I showed you those, or made reference to these power outlets earlier on the exterior. We got lighting around the exterior as well, kind of integrated underneath the soffit. And then we've also got again some kind of fender protection for your pulling up runabouts. 2 more cleats integrated in. We've got another water spigot right here. Now over here with a small little crack in this siding, wanted to call that to your attention. And we're going around the corner here. We've got the same. There are no fenders on this side, but we do have some cleats. That's where I've chosen to pull alongside of them. Of course, you've got some solar panel lights throughout as well. And here's that exterior heat pump for that HVAC system. So now another thing with the floating cabins, these are not date stamped with a whole ID number. It's going to have the date of construction. That's because these were not really manufactured commercially. So these were all kind of built individually because they don't have that date stamp. Sometimes we don't have the exact construction date. We will have the closest proximity that we can gather. We'll have that listed at the website. Whenever you follow that link down in that video description, that will take you to a page, again, that's going to have the photo slideshow page. To the left of that page, where you've got all the text, where you're going to see, of course, the asking price, our phone number, the link to send us an email, all that good stuff's going to be at our website. Again, that link's going to be there for your convenience. We're not trying to make it hard on you. Just follow that link, like we said earlier, copy and paste that into a new tab, or just click on that. It's going to take you right to that photo page. You will see the asking price right there, along with all of our contact info. And then you're going to have even more detailed information to the left side of that page. There'll be a link that will say printable PDF spec sheet. And that's where you're going to see, if you don't see it initially in there, but that will have not only the dimensions of the what we call the monolithic frame, the entire float itself, but also the floating cabin, that square footage dimensions and all that good stuff. Again, along with that kind of estimated original construction date. It's all going to be found there. And again, if you've got questions, do reach out to us. You can reach out to us by phone, by text, or by email. We do like to remind you, if you call us on the phone, you get our voicemail, and you want to return phone call, just please make sure that you leave us a detailed message. Let us know which listing you're looking at, what questions you have. We are very frequently in areas without cell phone reception, so if you don't leave us a message, we will not know that you called. So if you take the time, leave us a message. We will get back to you either as soon as we finish with the customer or as soon as we return to cell service area. We'll answer those questions for you. And yeah, if you send us an email, please make sure you check your spam folders within about a day. If you have not seen a reply, we're generally very quick about emailing any customers back, answering their questions by email if that's more convenient for you. We do that as well. So that's going to start to wrap things up for us here today. Again, this is the roughly 1,007 square foot, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, floating cabin for sale that is in a rental management program, and it can stay right here where it is. And again, any questions, reach out to us. And look for that link down in the video description. 2 things are going to be popping up on your screen here as we conclude. And top left-hand corner of the screen will be a link where you'll be able to view our current listings playlist there at our YouTube channel. So if you're looking on YouTube, not interested in going to our website, but only want to see what we currently have available, we do highly recommend visiting the current listings playlist. You can also go to youtube.com/yournewboat. That will be our YouTube channel. There's only 2 playlists there, one for all sold boat models and one for our current listings. And then the top right hand corner as we wrap up will be a shortcut to subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you haven't already, that is a great way to get notified anytime a new listing comes to the market in our area, whether it's a houseboat, floating cabin, pontoon, tri-toon, ski, wake boat, you name it. Sometimes we don't even know what we're going to be listing next, but we're always happy to be doing so. Happy to be here in the Norris Lake area. Happy to have you as a subscriber. For anybody that has taken advantage and click that link right there to subscribe to our channel. I thank you again for joining us. Again, this will wrap up the 1,007 square foot, 3-bed, 2-bath floating cabin for sale here on beautiful Norris Lake, Tennessee. And I thank you again for joining us.